I have decided to appoint Mr. David Douglas van Rooyen, a minister of the portfolio indicated in the signed President's Act, Minister of Finance. I now request Honorable Justice C.C. Kampepe to either swear or affirm him into office. I thank you.
I, David Douglas van Rooyen, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution and all other law of the Republic.
So guys, do you remember this? It was in, I think, 2015, 10th of December, when Jacob Zuma came through, the president then, and said this unknown backbencher of the ANC called Des van Rooyen, that he's going to become the finance minister. That's when Tlatlanene was dismissed as a finance minister. And there was a big hullabaloo in the country as to what is President Jacob Zuma trying to do here, or what is he doing. And guess what? This happened.
David van Rooyen is out just 4 days after his appointment. Former Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan has been reappointed to the post. In a statement, President Jacob Zuma says he made the decision after serious consideration and reflection. That's after receiving many requests to reconsider his decision to change finance ministers. Van Rooyen will replace Gordhan as Minister of Cooperative Governance. Zuma's about turn follows widespread condemnation of his decision to remove Nhlanhla as finance minister. That announcement also caused the rand to free fall and led to major losses on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange.
So there it was. Des van Rooyen was able to become a finance minister for only, he was popularly known as the weekend special. President Jacob Zuma, former president, appointed him to become a finance minister, and the very next day, he rescinded that appointment, and Des van Rooyen was no longer a minister. And the reason I'm bringing this up, most of you guys are probably familiar with the recent developments within the MKP party. I always call the MKP party the gift that keeps on giving. Since the election of 2024, where they surprised everyone and they won the huge number of elections, I think they were the third biggest party in the country. They haven't been able to build upon that momentum. They haven't been able to sustain those the gains that they have made in terms of building upon that, for them to be able to be in a better space in 2026 and subsequently in 2029. They've been moving from one disaster to the other. And now it has happened again. So if you're not aware of this, let me bring you in. So the leader of the party in parliament, that is Dr. John Hlophe, the disgraced judge, the first judge to have been impeached in democratic South Africa. He decided on his own accord to remove the chief whip, Coleen Makhubele. She used to be with COPE. Says, okay, I'm going to remove Coleen Makhubele. Doesn't consult with anyone, nothing, and on his own. By that time, Zuma is out of the country. So he removes Coleen Makhubele, writes this letter, say, hey, Coleen Makhubele has been removed. Des van Rooyen is going to take up this position of being a chief whip. And if you think about it, prior to the elections and all that, the likes of Des van Rooyen, they were visible within the MKP party and all of that. And after the elections, ended up in parliament, yes. But we haven't had much of Des van Rooyen, as other people like to call him, weekend special. But nonetheless, this time, Dr. John Hlophe brings him in front and says, hey, you're going to become a chief whip. And wow, great. And it turns out that this man is doing this thing by himself, not consult with anyone within the party. Nobody knows about this. Zuma comes back, come back into the country. As he comes back, he's been briefed that, hey, in your absence, this is what Dr. John Hlophe has done. And and Zuma does what Zuma does. He reverses John Hlophe's decision of removing Coleen Makhubele. Perhaps Zuma is happy with Coleen Makhubele's performance. I don't know. And then, basically Zuma reinstalls Coleen Makhubele. We got confidence in Coleen Makhubele. And then Desmond Rooyen again, he becomes the weekend special. Only a day after he was appointed, the very next day, President Jacob Zuma comes and removes him. So this is sad and hilarious at the same time, if you ask me. Desmond Rooyen seems like a loyal servant of Jacob Zuma. Somehow he's very, very loyal, and he keeps on getting repaid with this like this mistreatment. It's like Jacob Zuma doesn't take Desmond Rooyen seriously. You know, you're a finance minister, he appoints him, is a very important and high position and all that. I can imagine you being Desmond Rooyen, telling your family and say, hey guys, you know, I'm appointed finance minister and all these things. Everybody congratulates, I've been promoted. And the very next day, like, no, you've been demoted. Yes, he still kept another position as a minister, as it were. But that one was the one. And Jacob Zuma removes him and all that. And Desmond Rooyen continues to be loyal to former President Jacob Zuma. Even when he started the MKP party, he left the ANC, goes to the MKP party and all that. Now he gets this position and Zuma reverses it and all of that. I know it's not his fault. It was John Hlophe who appointed him. But it will seem like all these decisions that are being made, Desmond Rooyen gets to bear the brunt of this. And you will remember as well that John Hlophe, when he was in Parliament, he said that he was empowered. He was empowered to make decisions and all of that. And he says Zuma doesn't want to be bothered by these things, you know, like all the time having to consult with Zuma and all of that. And I think John Hlophe was thinking about that as well. Like, hey, you know, since Jacob Zuma has said that, I can make these decisions. I can flex my muscle as a leader. Little did he know that it doesn't work that way. Within the MKP party, there isn't much democracy. It's almost like a traditional setup where Zuma is, in inverted commas, the king. He decides, he appoints and all of that. And that can be backed up by so many things. I mean, if you think about how many Secretary Generals has the MKP had so far, I think they are on to Secretary General number 3. Recently, the recent one being Floyd. And if you think about it, I don't think they have replaced Floyd as yet. So, and if you look at the Treasurer General, I think they are on 4 of them. And it's crazy how they how this organization operates, as it were. It hasn't stabilized and things like that. And I don't know, you guys who are MKP's supporters, voters, and all of that. Those who are former President Jacob Zuma's supporters and all that. What do you make of this? And I'll maintain this. I'll say this, and I've said it before, that there is no way. I don't see this party going beyond if Jacob Zuma was to become somehow incapacitated, unable to function and all that, or if, God forbids, he passes on. There is no way this party is able to survive beyond President Jacob Zuma. But anyway, let me know what you think. Let's talk about it in the comments, and let me know what you think about what's happening in the MKP party, and if this party is going anywhere. It seems to me that the party is not going anywhere, slowly. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.